Hello dear students, good morning. I welcome you all for this velocity triangle part 2 lecture. In the part 1 we have understood the absolute velocity component and the absolute velocity v1 and its components in axial direction, radial direction and tangential direction. And we saw that in case of axial flow turbine we will be having Vx1 and Vu1 which we get it from V1, and Vrd1 will be 0. So in case of axial flow turbines, radial velocity component is 0. Similarly, in case of radial flow turbines, the axial velocity component is 0. How it is 0? We have tried to explain by considering a cube and its faces. So we have generally we have considered in a cube a body diagonal to be V1, then we split in three directions. We have made to split in three directions. This will be general case, but particularly we can see practically there will be axial flow turbines and radial flow turbines. So we have tried to discuss and understand the velocity triangles and its components. Okay, and also we have understood that V1 is now getting converted into Vu1, which is only contributing for the work done, not the axial velocity component and not the radial velocity component. Only the tangential velocity component, which is making a point or tangential contact to the wheel, is making the wheel to rotate. So in case if you have not seen the previous video, please watch the previous video. Okay, so now we'll assume that water is coming out of the nozzle with high velocity, so it will make angle alpha 1 while coming out of the nozzle. So the angle made by water with the nozzle or the fixed blade is alpha 1, which is shown here. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll assume that V1 like a force, so we will resolve it. We have force resolution, one in horizontal direction, one in vertical direction. So this is horizontal direction line, so this can be taken as horizontal direction line, this can be taken as vertical direction line. Okay, so this can be taken as vertical direction line. So how do we get horizontal line, how do we get vertical line? All of you know that this is a right angle triangle with V1 as the hypotenuse, which is the opposite side. For the alpha 1, Vf1 is the opposite side. You have to see the angle. Alpha 1 is the angle, so Vf1 will be opposite side. V1 is the the base. So we have Vf1 hypotenuse, V1 hypotenuse, which is absolute velocity. Vf1 is opposite side, and V1 is the base. Okay, so how do we get the cos alpha 1? So we'll consider cos alpha 1 is base upon hypotenuse, Vu1 divided by V1. So from this you can tell me what is Vu1. Vu1 is V1 cos alpha 1. Okay, Vu1 is V1 cos alpha 1. Okay, so this goes to this side, so we'll get V1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1. Okay, is that clear? So this is V1, it is nothing but V1 cos alpha 1. Similarly, what is Vf1? So if you take again sin alpha 1, you will come to know that it is V1 sin alpha 1. V1 sin alpha 1. So the writing is not clear, but you can understand. I hope you are understanding. So Vf1 is V1 sin alpha 1, whereas Vu1 is V1 cos alpha 1. Okay, so we are assuming that V1 is made to split in two mutually perpendicular direction, one in horizontal and one is vertical. So please understand that this line and these two lines are similar. This line and this line are similar. Okay, So no, this is no by similarity. So either you can take this line, these two lines, or you can take these two lines. Okay, these two vertical lines. But for what we are doing, for simplicity, we are taking this line, and this line. We are making a triangle. I hope this much is clear. Next, so as we know that V1 is as we know that V1 comes out of the nozzle and it hits the rotor blade. It hits the rotor blade. As it starts moving, the wheel starts moving. As the rotor blade starts moving, the wheel starts moving. Okay, wheel is having some velocity. We call it as wheel velocity. It is u1 at the inlet. Okay, so please remember this. And from v1 we get vf1. So vf1 is sometimes vRd1 and it is sometimes vax1. Okay, this vRd1 can also be called as a radial component or meridional component. Okay, different authors will be using different notations. And vax1, it is axial velocity component. Okay, so if it is axial flow turbine, we will have vax1. If it is radial flow turbine, we will have vRd1. Okay, but we have vu1 always there. vu1, or some authors use the symbol it as vw1, which is whirl velocity component or tangential velocity component. Okay, so v1 can also be vw1. So different authors will be using different notations, but make you understand that this is either tangential velocity component or whirl velocity component, which is making the wheel to rotate. Okay, so next, what happens as the wheel as the water jet strikes the rotor vane? It starts rotating. Okay, as it starts rotating, you can see here, this is v1 square is equal to v1 square plus vf1 square. It is a right angle triangle. Okay, now as it strikes the blade, I told you we get the wheel starts rotating with velocity v1. So that is shown here. Why it is shown only the part of v1? Because v1 is getting converted into v1. Further, v1 is responsible for the rotation of the wheel or rotation of the rotor. Now as v1 is striking the rotor, there will be losses, frictional losses. Okay, so again part of v1 is getting converted into u1. So we have not shown the complete v1, only we have not shown the complete v1, only we have shown u1, because there is some loss. So the loss is this portion. Okay, maybe the length what I have considered, they may not be approximate, but try to understand. u1 is obtained from vu1. Okay, is that clear? So this is v1 is getting converted into v1. Further, it is getting converted into u1. Please understand this. Okay, so we have shown it in velocity triangle u1, and the remaining part will be loss, or that is due to friction. Is that clear? So now we need to have some relation between v1 and u1, which is nothing but vr1, So if I take a vector summation, v1 will be equal to u1 plus vr1, but it will be vector summation. Please remember this. This will be vector summation. So you can see that. Okay, see here, v1, vector v1 is equal to u1 plus vr1. Okay, so you have to take vector, not only the magnitude, you have to take the direction also. Then you will be getting the correct answer. Okay, so now from this point, from this point, there is a line which is going out and it is meeting here somewhere. It is completing the triangle. So this line we call it as vr1, and it is making an angle beta 1. Okay, now this we call it as relative velocity. Okay, So V1 is absolute velocity, VR1 is relative velocity, U1 is wheel velocity. Okay. So this is relative velocity. Why we call it as relative velocity? Because from the V1 we are getting U1. Okay. From V1 we are getting U1. So there is some motion which is happening. V1 is moving with some speed, some velocity. Also U1 is moving with some speed. So when there are two objects which are moving simultaneously, in order to get the relation between the two, we use the concept of relative velocity. So that is how we are getting this relative velocity. Okay, we can understand it this another view also, but to try to understand this, you can imagine that there are two vehicles, like two buses. One bus is moving with 40 meter per second, another bus moving with 20 meter per second. The relative velocity between the two vehicles, will be 20 meter per second. Okay, one bus is moving with 40 meter per second, another bus moving with 20 meter per second. A bus 40 meter per second, bus B 20 meter per second. How do we get the relative velocity between the two? It will be A minus B. So we get it to be 20 meter per second. Okay, usually if they are moving in straight line, this is the possibility, but if they are making some angles, then usually we take vector. So that is considered here. Equation 2 you can see. I hope this is clear. So whenever there will be two objects which will be moving, in order to get the relation between the two, we use this component, we use this concept, which is relative velocity. I hope it is clear. So this is how we get inlet velocity triangle. Okay, so where alpha 1, is the, I told you earlier, it is angle made by absolute velocity with the horizontal, or it is nozzle angle or fixed blade angle. Okay, angle made by V1 with the horizontal, or nozzle angle or blade angle. What is beta 1? Beta 1 is the angle made by relative velocity with the horizontal line. Okay, and if you see, we have relation between V1, VR1 and U1. Okay, similarly we have relation between V1, VU1 and VF1. So I hope you have understood what is relative velocity and how we have drawn the velocity triangle. Okay, further, this is the outlet velocity triangle. After striking the rotor blade, V1 is getting converted into V2. So you can see here V2, and this is split into mutually perpendicular direction, VU2 and VF2. Again here VU2 is useful for us. This contributes for the work done. Okay, next. Okay, so you can see that from inlet to outlet, VR1 is increasing. So the relative velocity is increasing. So again, in order to get the relation between V2 and U2, we have VR2, or in order to get the relation between V2 and VR2, we have U2. Okay, again we have to take here vector summation. You can see the equation 2. It will be vector of V2 will be equal to vector VR2 will be equal to V2 plus U2, because here as from inlet to outlet, relative velocity will be increasing. Okay, again the angles are shown here. Angle made by V2 is alpha 2, angle made by VR2 is beta 2. Okay, so this is how we get outlet velocity triangle. Please remember that from inlet to outlet, the absolute velocity decreases. You can see in the magnitude. From inlet to outlet, the relative velocity is increasing. Please remember this. So you can draw the velocity triangle easily. Okay, now moving further, I hope you understood why U2 has come here, because it will, if you see here, U2 line is between V1 and VR1. So here also it is between V1 and VR1, and I have explained you the concept. V2 is getting converted into U2, so which is relative velocities, it is between the two. Okay. So if you want to calculate the work done, so we will be calculating work done like this: u1 vu1 plus or minus u2 vu2. This is the work done equation, or we call it as Euler's turbine equation. The plus or minus sign, it depends on the direction of vu1 and vu2. Okay. Now if I want to mark the direction here, what is the direction of v1? v1 is moving like this, so the horizontal component is in this direction, so it is positive x direction. Okay. v2 is coming like this, so vu2 is going like this, it is in this direction. Okay. So if you see, both are in opposite direction, vu1 and vu2 both are in opposite direction, so in this case we will be using plus sign. For this kind of velocity triangle, for this kind of inlet and outlet velocity triangle, we will be using plus sign in order to calculate the work done. The other case where we have v1 is in positive x direction, v2 also in positive x direction, we will be using negative sign to calculate the work done. Okay. So in the present situation, we will be getting plus sign for this combination. Okay. I hope the things are clear. Now we'll try to understand the other part. Okay. So we can see water is coming out of the nozzle, making an angle alpha 1 with high velocity, high absolute velocity v1. Okay. Now when it is made to strike the moving blade, it will be hitting the moving blade with velocity vr1, making an angle beta 1. Okay. Because from traveling from this point to this point, it will be losing some velocity, so it looks that it is striking the blade with an relative velocity vr1, so we have this beta 1, so it makes an angle beta 1 here with the moving blade, so that is inlet angle beta 1. So again, moving further, you can see here it comes out of the moving blade with an angle beta 2, so with an relative velocity vr2. From inlet to outlet, relative velocity increases, so it comes out with an angle beta 2. Okay. So this is how we get beta 1 and beta 2 and alpha 1. Next, so how do we get alpha 2? So this is how. In the next stage, water enters with an absolute velocity v2, the fixed blade. Here you can see the fixed blade at an angle alpha 2. Okay. This is how we draw the velocity triangle. Okay. Initially it starts with nozzle, it comes out of the nozzle with an angle alpha 1, then it strikes the rotor blade with a velocity vr1 and angle beta 1. Okay. Because from here to here there will be v1 which will be moving, and if the wheel is rotating, we will see that it is not striking the wheel with an angle alpha 1, but will be striking the wheel with an angle beta 1 and relative velocity vr1. So this is the inlet part. In the outlet part, we have the moving blade, the water will be coming out, so this is inlet point. You can see this is the inlet point, whereas this will be the outlet point. So we have taken here outlet point, so it comes out with an angle beta 2, relative velocity vr2. Further, it enters the next set of fixed blade with an angle alpha 2 and velocity v2. Okay. So this is how we draw the velocity triangle. And fixed blades are, they are fixed, they are not moving at all, so they are used to give proper direction for the water, so that it goes and strikes the moving blade with high velocity. Okay, that is the purpose of using fixed blades. It gives the proper direction for the water to go and strike the next set of moving blade with a perfect angle. or with the required angle, so that we get optimum work output. Okay, or in sometimes it is also used like nozzle, where the available pressure energy will be utilized to convert it in terms of kinetic energy. That is in case of steam turbine. Okay, that is in case of steam turbine. Okay, so this is how we draw velocity triangle and we calculate the work done. Okay, I hope this is clear to you people and you have understood. So please, if you have any queries, you can comment in the comment box, so that I can try to answer your questions. Okay, thank you one and all.